let's grab our little balls or your Makarlu, whichever you prefer, and we're just going to do those releases for our shoulders. So I might get my Makarlu out today, I think. So either the little balls or your Makarlu, and with the Makarlu, we're going to take the smallest domes, the tiny ones, one on each side. Okay. One on each side of your spine. You might want to have a pillow underneath your shoulders. No, not under your shoulders, under your head. Just to make it a little more comfy through your shoulders. All right. And then you take a little lie down. Whoop. Oh, Steph, is this your first time using your Makarlu, your brand new one? How exciting. They arrived today. That was super good time. I don't know how your post from Brisbane is getting there so quickly when everything else from the whole country is taking forever. Okay. Oh, there we go. So just finding a nice spot to lie down on. And that might be enough for you. If you want more, we have all the options that we usually have. So cross your hands over your chest and rock a little from side to side. And the next one up from there, is to lift your arms up to the ceiling and add your arm openings and or your overhead with your arms. Okay, and once you've done that spot, we're going to wriggle our bodies down a little so that your balls or your Makarlus go up towards the top of your shoulders a little bit more. And then choose your option for this level. Each level is going to be different. And then moving your body down your mat again so that the domes or the balls creep up a tiny bit higher. Just take a second to figure out what's right for you, whether this one's just lying here or if we can add in our movements. And then moving again, slowly creeping your way up towards the top of your shoulders. Now, as you get right up near the top, if you want to lift your hips up in the air, that's good. Just make sure that you take your pillow out away from behind your head if you choose to lift your hips up. Okay. So just working at your own pace. You can just continue to move whenever you feel it's appropriate for you. As each spot releases, some might take a little more than others. Gee, I hope your shoulders don't feel as knotty as mine do today. I'm sitting at the computer getting the next stage of things ready to send out to you guys about what's going to happen when we open up. Too much computer. All right. Maybe we've got one last spot. If not, if you're already done, go back to one of your tighter places that might need a little extra support to release. And then resting down. Okay. You can have your pillow back if you want it. Just quickly release through our chest, so either with your ball or your small dome again. You can either massage around in a circle, or you can press down and twist. Press and twist. So just working on getting the fascia moving a little. Going a few times across on one side. So we're traveling underneath our collarbone in towards our sternum. So a few times from outside edge towards the center, and then switching over to the other side. Okay, then we get rid of our massaging device. Take your pillow out from behind your head. We're going to take our hands down by our side, and then going into your pelvic curl, or if you've got a back that feels like Sandy's, we're just going to lift straight up and straight down rather than articulating. Okay, so this is the straight version. Press your feet down into the floor, lift your hips up in the air, and lower straight down. So one more time, lifting up and lowering down. Otherwise, we can go for the one where we curl our spine off the mat bone by bone, trying to get that really nice sense of articulating through your spine, rolling down, releasing at the bottom, slowly snaking your spine up and snaking it down. And all the while trying to really actively press your feet into the floor. Feel grounded through the knuckles of each toe and through the center of your heel. And trying to reach your knees out towards your toes as you roll or lift up and as you roll or lower down. After this one, we've got two more. Just working to wake up through the back of our legs and our glutes. Allow a little moment for our shoulders to go into. You can never remember is shoulders flexion or extension. Anyway, our arms are traveling behind our body. Good. Good, and last one. Okay, then let's take our single leg lift. So we breathe in to float one knee up above our hip, and then breathe out, lower that foot down to the floor. Other leg, we lift up as we breathe in, and breathe out to lower down. As you're breathing out, you're gently shrinking your tummy in towards your spine. So breathe in to lift, and breathe out to lower. Other side, inhale, lift. And exhale down. Good, keep going nice and slowly, timing the movement to your breath. Okay, now we're going to add on, but Tony, can you please stay with that version for today? Okay, excellent. Everyone else, we're going to breathe in and lift our first leg. Breathe out, sink your tummy and lift your second leg up in the air. Breathe in, lower your first leg down. And breathe out, second leg comes down. Other leg goes first. So we lift as we inhale. Sink our tummy as we lift our second leg. Lower the first leg down, breathing in. And breathe out, lower your second leg down. Good. Switch leading legs again. Up. And up. And down. And down. And the last one, other leg goes first. We lift. Lift. Lower. And lower. Okay. Taking your hands behind your head. Fingers are interlaced. Resting the back of the skull into your hands. And bring your elbows forward just where you can see them in the edge of your vision. Take a breath in to prepare. As we breathe out, we shrink our tummy in towards our spine. Curl your head and shoulders up away from the floor. Feel length through the back of your neck and also that you're pressing backwards into your hands. We'll breathe in as we lower back down. Then breathe out. Belly button sinks a little as we curl our head and shoulders up. And breathe in to lower. Just keep going with that. Just want to check on how you're going. Breathing out to come up. So tummy shrinks in towards your spine. And then you breathe in as you lower down. Good job. Looking good. Very nice. Okay. Couple more like that. Okay. Then let's return our arms to the mat with palms facing up. We super glue our knees and feet together. And we've got our supine spine twist. So as we breathe in, we tip our pelvis over to one side, knees and feet follow along. And your top foot lifts up away from the floor. Then breathe out, really shrink your tummy in towards your spine and come back to the middle. So we breathe in and tip over onto the other side of our pelvis. And breathe out, coming back to the middle. Breathing in, tip over. And breathing out, coming back. Breathing in to tip over. Breathing out to the center. There we go, over to the side. And back. And tip over. and come center. Okay, let's stretch one leg out long on the floor and flex your foot of the long leg. Okay, other leg is bent with your foot pressing down into the mat. And we've got our little sachet. So we're going to stretch that knee out towards our big toe as we allow this hip to roll up away from the floor just a little, and then allow your hip to roll back down. So it's a small rotation through your pelvis, but it's also activating through your hip because you're pressing your heel so much down into the floor. I'm just going to spin around so that you can see from another angle what's happening. Make sure I don't stab myself in the head with my Makarlu. Okay, so firmly planting your foot down. Knee reaches out towards your foot as your hip rolls up away from the floor and lowers back down. So we're not allowing this bent knee to cross across the midline of our body. Let me just have a look at how you're all doing. Yeah. That looks really good. Yeah. Good job. Oh, now you can't see anything. I've got my iPad in the way looking at you all. Okay. Let's switch legs. So really anchoring your foot down into the floor, pressing your heel particularly down to get that roll of your hip away from the mat, and then rolling down. So we're pressing and releasing. Ruben looks like he's very happy tonight. That's gorgeous to see. Good. And lower. Let's keep going. Reaching your knee out towards your toes as that one hip lifts away from the floor. Good. 2 more times. Okay. And then we're going to take our legs about just a little bit wider than mat distance apart. Again, your arms are out away from your hips a little with your palms up. And we're just twisting both knees over to the one side and then come back to the middle and tip over to the other side and come back to the middle. So this one's allowing a little bit of a stretch through the front of your back hip each time, maybe down into your quads. Just depends on how tight your muscles are today. And just getting a little bit more of a twist happening through our spine. You might find this twist travels up a little bit higher. Now we'll keep our legs going and then bring your arms out to a goalpost position. And each time you drop your knees to one side, you're going to turn your head to face the other way. So just switching from side to side. You might then feel a little stretch through your chest. You might not, and that's okay too. Okay, then bring your legs back together, arms down by your side. Let's take your ball or your Makarlu, whichever you've got. If you're using Makarlu, you're just going to stick the 2 domes together to make a little ball. Okay, and then again, you can have your pillow for this one if you like. And I think we did this last time, but without the ball. So this is our keyhole arm movement that we're working on to release out through your shoulder. So you're just going to take a second to really feel your shoulder blade moving. So reach up for the ceiling and then draw down to the floor. Reach up and draw down, up and then down, and settle that shoulder blade down into the mat. Then we're going to go into full internal rotation of your arm, right from the top of your arm, and then spin your whole arm around the other way into external rotation. So spinning into internal rotation, and then spinning all the way around in the opposite direction. Keeping your elbow really straight. And spin. Like your whole arm is a key inside of the front door lock. Or any lock, really. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. Now, the next time we're going to hold our arm into that externally rotated position. So the top arm bone, our humerus, stays there. And then we're going to try and unlock the door with just our forearm and our hand. So going into pronation and supination while holding that external rotation through our shoulder and our humerus. Okay. Just a couple more. And then bring your arm down. Give it a little shake. And we'll switch over to the other side. So we lift up, allow our shoulder to move away from the floor and down into the floor. And lifting and lowering. Okay. And then lowering down. I'm hoping you can't hear my children arguing in the background. Sophie's been asked to set the table and feed the dog. Usually one does one and the other does one. But Josh is obviously quite hurt, so she's like, I don't want to do it, Josh, you do it. Oh, they love each other, I'm sure. So our whole arm is going into internal rotation and then our whole arm into external rotation. Just getting that sense of your humerus gliding around in your shoulder. Good. Okay. Then hold your external rotation of your humerus and then just pronate and supinate your forearm against that external rotation. Good. So we're starting to teach our arms to differentiate between moving from the lower part of our arm and moving from our shoulder. Okay, one more time. And then releasing out of that. Next thing that we're going to do is do some stretching for around our hips. Okay, so the first one we want to do is our pretzel stretch for our glutes. Now you can either do the version that we usually do down here on the floor, reach through and grab hold of your thigh, or if that feels a little bit much for you and you have a wall close by or even a couch that you can hang your legs up over the top of, do that. I'm going to show you the wall version. So we take one leg up the wall. You want to be fairly close to it. One leg up the wall. Cross your leg over the top of the thigh, just like we do in the floor version. Opening your knee out, flexing your foot, and then slide your heel down the wall until you feel your desired amount of stretch. And this just feels a lot more supported and less stress and effort in the body. So see how you go with that one. You're very welcome to do the normal version that we usually do. Looking good. Okay. And then we're going to uncross and change over to the other side. Your other leg goes along up the wall. Flex your foot as you cross it over. Open out through your knee. And then slide your heel down the wall until you get what feels like a nice amount of stretch for you. Okay, and then coming out of that, we're just going to go and grab ourselves a band or a magic circle or a loop band. I forget which camera I'm talking to. So any of these will be useful, or even a towel. A hand towel, kitchen towel, tea towel, whatever you like. I'm just going to grab something to loop around our foot to help us stretch the back of our legs, so into our hamstrings and calves. So when you've got your chosen thing, it's like, yeah, we've all got something. Oh, Reggie. He's beautiful. Having a snooze. Snoozing on the job, Reggie. What's that about? Okay. So we're going with your foot in whatever the thing is that you've got. Okay, other knee is bent and foot on the floor. This leg, this band's quite a strong one. We're going to stretch our leg out long. Okay. And then from there, bringing your leg up towards you, keeping your bottom and your tailbone down on the floor. And you bring your leg up until you feel a bit of a stretch down the back of your thigh. See? And then once you can feel that stretch and you've held it for a little while, we're going to straighten our other leg out along the floor and just feel how that intensifies the stretch just a tiny little bit. Okay. Now we're going to ease off that a little. So take your leg away from you a little bit, keeping both sides of your pelvis down on the floor. We're going to travel that leg across the midline of our body. So you'll then feel the stretch travel more around into the outside of your hip, maybe a little bit down the side of your leg. Really working hard to keep grounding your hip into the floor and stretching your leg away from that. And we'll come back to the middle. This time, reaching your leg out the other way, so away from the midline. And also, to increase the stretch, you bring your foot up closer in towards your head. got dancing toes. I might not like this one very much. All right, then come back to the middle. We're going to bend our knee a little bit and reach our heel away up towards the ceiling, pulling your toes down towards your head, and feel that stretch through your lower leg into your calf muscles. Okay, and then let's change over and do the other side. So you start with your supporting leg bent, and then we straighten our leg out, lift it up towards you until you feel a stretch down the back of your thigh. But you need to keep your tailbone and your bottom down on the floor. Just taking some nice big deep breaths. And now stretching your other leg out along the floor, just to intensify the stretch a little. Okay, then drop your leg away from you a little bit. Keep your hips grounded on the floor and take the leg across the midline of your body. Pulling your hip down into the floor in opposition to the energy reaching out through your foot. Coming back through the center, and then we open out the other way, stretching more into your inner thigh. And if you need more, pulling your foot up towards your head. And then coming into the center, soften your knee a bit, press your heel away from you and draw your toes down, stretching into your calf. Okay, there we go. Then we can release that one. Let's take a little roll over onto our sides. What time do we start? 6:30. Golly. Time goes fast when you're having fun, doesn't it? Okay. So we're rolling onto our sides. If you'd like to, just for a little something in your hand, I'm looking up here at you, you can hold on to the ball again. Or if you've got your squishy ball nearby, you can hold on to that one as well. Sometimes it's just nice to work the muscles in your hand a little bit. So I'm going to take a lie down with my head on my pillows and move this so I can see you. Okay. Either with or without the ball in your hand, doesn't matter. I'm going to take some chest openers. So lift up, roll backwards. If you've got the ball, when you're back here, you're just going to squeeze it 3 times. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, and then coming back to the front. Okay, so we lift up, roll backwards, 3 quick squeezes on the ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I did 4, can't count. And roll back. Lift and roll. 3 quick squeezes. 1, 2, 3. and then roll into the front one more time. Lift, roll back, squeeze, 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 and then come to the front. So what is this craziness that I'm making you do? It comes from the Franklin method. I don't know if you've heard about that, but they have special magic balls. In the studio, I've got some, they're orange, little orange ones. And Eric Franklin one day said something in a course I did, like you're able to release muscles proximal, so closer into your spine, by working muscles that are more distal, so further away. So using that hand action here can help us release closer in, which is kind of good. We all need a little bit of that. Okay, then we're going to take some arm waving. We lift our arm up. Practice that keyhole movement to take your whole arm into external rotation and then lift your arm overhead. Okay, then we lift up, undo the lock, go into internal rotation and float the ball or your arm down. So we lift up, rotate into external rotation. So your palm is facing overhead, and then you bring your arm up, lift to the ceiling, go into internal rotation as you lower down. Okay, 2 more times. Lift, externally rotate, and take your arm over. Lift back up, rotate and lower down. And then last one, lift, rotate, and go over. Lift up, rotate, and down. Now from here, let's take that top leg out long. And rest your hand or your ball on top of your leg and then your hand on top of your ball. You can also just do it with your hand on your leg. But if you have the ball there, why not use it? You're going to press down into the ball and then slide your hand down towards your foot, rolling the ball down, lifting a little through the upper body so you can feel this top side of your waist engage, and then returning back down to the foot. Okay, so we press into the ball, gliding your hand down. It's just a tiny little movement, and then coming back down to get this nice little sideways bend through your torso. Working those obliques on that top side of your waist. Doing that a couple more times. Good. And lift. And one more time. Okay. Then we're going to lift this top leg up and lower it down. Keep gentle pressure onto the ball if you've got it. Lift and lower. Just creating a tiny bit of resistance. And lower. And lift. And lower. Okay. Then, if you have the ball, tuck it behind your top knee. If not, just bend your knee and flex your foot. We bring our top knee forwards towards our chest, sending our sit bone back behind us. And then press back through your heel, taking your thigh bone back behind you. Drawing in, folding at the hip, reaching your knee to your chest. And then reaching your heel to the wall back behind you. Hinging at your hip joint. Good. Okay. Last one. Now, because we've all got the ball, we're going to hold our thigh bone behind us and do 8 quick squeezes on the ball. So squeeze heel to bottom, release. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then take a little rest. Okay, let's flip over and do all of that on the other side. So, knees are bent, head on the cushion if you want it there. Everything out of the way. All right, holding onto your ball. And then I'm going to take a lift up. Roll backwards. 3 quick squeezes on the ball. 3, 2, 1. And then come back to the front. We do that 3 more times. Lift up. Roll back. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. And then rolling back to the front. And again, lift. Roll. 3, 2, 1. And rolling back. Last time. And bring it back. Okay. Stretch your arm down by your side. And then I'm going to lift that arm up. Go into external rotation as you bring your arm overhead. Then lift up. Internally rotate to lower down. And lift up. Externally rotate and come over. Lift. Internally rotate and lower. And again we lift up. External and over. Lift. Internal and down. 2 more times. And the last one. Okay. Then we stretch our top leg out long. Ball goes down on top of our leg. Press down with that top arm and then slide the ball down a little and return to the mat. So using your rib cage to glide down and back. Press to glide. 2 more times. And the last one. Perfect. Take the ball behind your top knee. Knees are bent. Lift it to hip height and then swing your knee forward and take it back behind you. Knee to chest and then press back through your heel. Hinging at the hip joint here. One more time. Oh, whoops, nearly forgot. I knew you'd remind me. Take your leg back, and then we've got our 8 little squeezes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now, did I forget anything else on that side? I don't think so. I think we got it all, didn't we? Okay, now we're going to go onto our tummies. You can do this with or without the ball. So we're going to work our back extension. Up to you, whatever you would prefer. So if you're going with the ball, we're going to take it so that the ball is sitting in our sternum, or on our sternum will be sitting on the ball, okay, because we'll be face down. Bring you up here. Can check on you as we go. Okay. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can do it without the ball. That's totally fine as well. So you're just going to take your arms into a position where you feel like your shoulders are relaxed. And then relax your body down over the top of the ball. Keep your hands on the mat. Press your sternum forwards into the ball to lift your face and your chest up away from the floor. Yeah, beautiful. And then lower back down. Now this time we're going to do exactly the same thing with our upper body, but think of really stretching your legs as far away from you as you can take them. So much that they might feel like they want to hover just off the floor the tiniest bit, but we're not going to let them hover. I'm going to keep them down. Okay, so we stretch our legs really long. Maybe lift your low tummy a tiny bit as you press your sternum forwards into the ball to come into that lovely extension. These look awesome, you guys, really nice. Pressing down through your arms to lift up, grow, grow through the crown of your head. Really long, and then lower. Let's take 2 more of those. Extending, growing tall, and then coming back down. And the last one, lifting up. Beautiful. And then lower. And let's come back into our rest position. So stretch back. Okay. Then we're going to flip that upside down. So we turn over so that we're sitting with the ball behind our upper back. Okay. Now, I reckon just sitting around the base of your shoulder blades where you can feel them, we take our hands behind our head and then just going to take a breath in to lengthen over the top of the ball. You can go any amount that feels good for you. It might feel good to get your head all the way down on the floor. Maybe. I don't know. And then, keeping your head in your hands, roll your head up and then your chest up to come back up away from the mat. Good. So we let gravity help us as we breathe in and lengthen over the ball into whatever amount of extension feels nice for your back. And then use your hands to help lift your head, roll your chin towards your chest, and then your ribs towards your waist to curl up. Nice. And then lengthen over. As you're coming up, making sure that you're getting that belly button drawing in towards your spine. Yeah. That's good, Tony. Nice. 2 more, so lengthening over. And coming up. And then on our next one, we're going to go over the ball and then maybe try taking your arms up overhead too. And just opening out through your shoulders a little bit. Might feel nice for you if you take your arms out to the side. Just take some nice deep breaths wherever it feels nice for you. And then bring your hands back behind your head again. Use your hands to pull your head up, shrink your tummy towards your spine and curl up. Yes, good. Then from there, we're going to come up and let's do a little balancy kind of thing. I can't remember if I did this with you guys or with Saturday, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating, but I think it's fun. So we're going to take the ball under one knee and come into your quadruped position. Okay. So for the beginner version, you can have your foot down on the floor. If you want to go a little more advanced, you have that foot floated up away from the floor, just to take away some of the stability there. Okay, then we're just going to try and move one arm, slide it out along the mat, and then lift it up in the air. And then bring it back down and under your shoulder. Then the other arm's going to slide out long and lift it up in the air. Bring it down and draw back in. That's okay? So we're going to keep alternating arms. See how we go. Just noticing how different that feels from one side to the other. And one more time with each arm. Okay, then let's switch the ball over to the other side. Get your balance. And then you've got 3 with each arm on this side. So stretch and lift. Good. And just work to keep your head up in line with the rest of your spine. That's it. Good job. You can feel how it's such a simple movement, but with the addition of just a little wobbly ball, it makes us work a whole lot harder in our abs to stabilize us. But it's a really good one to do because it's not loaded flexion, so it's not going to undo all of your surgeon's good work, Tony. Okay. And then just come back off the ball. Give your wrists a little bit of a rest. Okay, so we are going to try one more little trick before we head off and have dinner. And that one is, now please feel free to take that other version that we just did again. This one's a little more advanced, let's say. We're going to take both knees onto the ball. Ooh, shaking already. Okay, then hover your knees, or not your knees. Yeah, go and hover your knees off the ball now. Hover your feet off the ball, off the floor. Yeah. And then maybe we just want to breathe here, maintaining that quadruped position. Or maybe you want to try and do something with your arm. Can be anything. Doesn't have to go out in front. It could be just lift one hand and tap the opposite shoulder and bring it back down. And lift and tap the other shoulder. Could be taking your arm out to the side. Could be doing a push-up. Anything that you want to do. Woo! With the goal of not falling off the ball like I just did. Great. A couple on each side. Very good. And then bringing your feet down so that you can come back off the ball and give yourselves a big pat on the back because you did really well. We all survived. Nobody fell off. Yay. Well done. I think we're cooked for the day. How are you all feeling? You're allowed to come off mute now. Good. Good. That's good.